topic we are going to discuss here is sorry, it's the topic we are going to discuss here. Function of several real variables. In the first or second episode, I think we discussed about the multivariate function. This is pretty much the same, but except for the difference being this is the real value. The value variables are real. So here we can represent this as if n is the number of variables, then if n equal to 1, then out of this, obviously on the x-axis we have x1, the variable, and there is a y. This of course y equal to I think. Yeah. So here how we represent this as this will be fx, right? This is fx1 and this is x. So this particular point we can represent as x and fx. This being the x coordinate, this being the y coordinate, y being the function of the x, then you can represent it like this, a single variable. Now, let's say that's like for the second one, if n is equal to 2, let us say, I mean, this is just a visualization of multivariate function. We can also call it visualization of multivariate real value function. So if it's n equal to 2, n equal to 2, how would it look like? It will have something like this thing, meaning this is well, this is x1, x2 because they are lying in the same plane as x-axis itself, right? They're not. Basically, this particular figure is in the plane of x-axis. So x1, x2. This is y. Y can be represented as f of x1, x2. This can be like that will be like something like this, a surface, and here you can say x1, x2, f of x1, x2. This is how, if you have two variables here, then it would be something like this. A set, you can say. Yeah, that will be the two. If you have two variables, and if you have three, how will it be if you have three? Let us say x1, x2, x3. So naturally, it will be x1, x2, x3, and how will you represent the function itself as x1, x2, x3, f of x2, x2, x3, right? So what do we observe here? That will be something like uh, let's say here you have something like that. You will, and that will be this this. So what we observe here, if you have n number is 1, then R will be there. It should be subset of R. If n is 2, it should be subset of R square. If n is 3, then it should be subset. Yeah, equal to is equal to but still mathematically it is possible. So R3, this is the third. So this is how they look like multivariate functions. With only one in the variable here, input here, one output. Here you have two inputs x1 and x2, and uh, there's one more guy which is the actually the function. So that will look like this. This will look very complicated, like may have some curls or something like that. This function is quite complicated because it is in uh, fourth dimension. Basically, we already have used three dimensions here. X1, x2, x3 is cubed because in the three dimension, and this is the other dimension. So this gets quite